Can you supercharge or elevate your affirmations? Let's find out together. On my journey, I found that there's one thing you can do that could escalate the speed and impact of your I am statements, and there's one thing you must avoid, and both are crucial. There's an old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So in order to make your practice stronger, stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and repeat your I am statements over and over and over. It's going to feel really uncomfortable at first, or probably even embarrassing. Regardless, you must do this if you want to elevate it to the next point. Focus. When you're looking at your eyeball, make sure that you are paying attention and focusing on what you are saying and not what you're looking at. Sean Aker tells a great story of a wealthy businessman who was at a dinner with some of his competitors, and they thought that if they would get him drunk, he'd be more open to doing deals and they could possibly take over his territory. As the evening went on, he noticed that he was starting to lose control. He politely excused himself from the table, went into the bathroom, looked into his own eyes, and began to say over and over, "I am sober, I'm in control. I am sober, I'm in control." He probably did this for about 10 minutes before he really felt that he was back in control and returned to the dinner. There are countless movie scenes out there where in the middle of a bad situation, the main character will walk into a bathroom, slam the door, grab the sink with both of their hands, and look themselves in the eye and say something that then gives them the courage to go back to the main plot of the story and conquer. I've always been a bit hesitant about this kind of stuff. I always thought it was like a hoax. But once I started actually doing this in my daily practice, I felt the change. I felt the shift inside of myself. If I am having one of those days where it just seems like everything is going wrong, and they do happen to me, regardless of what's happening in my life, I still encounter days like this more than most people are even willing to admit. But when that happens, I will stop myself, I will look into the mirror, I will look dead into my eyeballs and tell myself to cut it out. Last month, I found out some really bad news that hit me hard. We're talking full-blown panic attack. The shaking of the body, I turned pale, I could barely breathe, I was lightheaded, I was in tears. I jumped into my car and I started driving home. And as I was driving, which was about a 10-minute drive, I began to yell my I am statements out loud, over and over and over. And by the time that I got to my house, I was still in a shock of panic, but my body wasn't reflecting it the way that it normally would. And instead of lasting for 30 minutes or even a few days, it was over in about 15 minutes. We have to learn to communicate with ourselves. We already do this every single day. We do it 1,000 times a day. We just don't realize that we can control this conversation. Remember when we discussed in the earlier video, if we don't control our thoughts, our brain's default program will, which tends to be negative. And it is influenced by your surroundings, which by default tend to be not so positive, and then those thoughts will take the steering wheel of your life. Before I forget, I promised you a piece of advice on what not to do with this practice, and this is a very simple one. Don't use your cell phone, because it's impossible to look in your eyeball and at the camera at the same time, no matter how you feel about this. Those who have added this extra step to their practice will confirm that it speeds up the process, strengthens the feeling, and commitment to this daily habit. Try it. What do you have to lose? Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you know anyone who could benefit from the information in my videos, please share it with them.